everybody. It's Kimberly. I'm an eternal life student, which simply means human. At the end of the day, that really is the only title that we need. I think people are like walking books, a living library. We each have our own stories to share, and by sharing them together, we grow stronger. Today, I have a guest who'll be sharing theirs. Her name is Debbie Glen. Hi, Debbie. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm so pleased to be here. I hope that you can understand my accent. I'm from Scotland in the UK, so I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This topic is a very important topic for people that are going through it. I'm excited to talk about it, and hopefully, we can help guide some people in the right direction, right?
This is a topic close to my heart that I have been through as well about toxic relationships. It's just to help give insights and if you're in a toxic relationship, how to get out and basically how to heal, some tips how to heal after it. And we've got a little
Yes.
technique that I'm going to be able to share with you towards the end that you can do at home to start raising your self-worth and self-esteem and basically reset your nervous system as well.
Yes. So, the first thing is to explain what is a toxic relationship. Some people don't understand the definition.
Yeah, I totally understand that. So hold on a second.
Yeah.
Eh, a toxic relationship, well, for me, I was in a really toxic relationship, but how it starts and when you're in it is completely different. So at the
Yes.
start, it starts with love bombing, where
Mm-hmm.
everything seems amazing and it'll be grand gestures. Like I was whisked away to Paris and
Yeah.
like gifts and like, oh, you're amazing. Like you just feel like you're put on a pedestal. And if you've
Yes.
got low self-worth, which is basically the catalyst for
Mm-hmm.
attracting and holding space for that relationship is basically a self-worth, self-love, self-esteem issue. I didn't
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
realize I had this. So I completely fell for this love bomb and wow, this guy is amazing. He's like treating me so well. And then like they start manipulating you and
Yes.
they start chipping away at your self-esteem, like basically your soul. You can't do this right, you can't do that right. They
Right?
begin controlling every aspect of your life. So like your friends, your relationships, you probably find before you know it that you're not going out with your friends as much. You're not
Yes.
seeing your friends and family as much. You're not
Mm-hmm.
speaking to them as much, that they're wanting to spend all their time with you. And that feels amazing to you because you've perhaps not like had that as much love and attention in your life, or you've not gave yourself that love and attention. So you're just, oh, this is amazing. And you get
Yes.
hooked and addicted to that,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah,
No, yeah, it definitely makes sense.
it was like an addiction for me. And when I was in it, like I remember my cousin saying to me, like, wow, if it can happen to you, it can happen to anyone. Because I've got a very strong spirit, but my spirit was wasted. Like, I came out of that relationship a complete shell of myself. I had PTSD, anxiety,
Right.
depression. Like, like, it was
It makes
really
you question a lot, right? A lot about who you are.
question a lot about who you are. I had to find myself again and
Yes.
rebuild myself again. Like I was living in a knife edge, like for like a long time after it. Probably not as long as what other people will have because I put the work in to
Right.
myself. I really did.
Right.
But they definitely it's control. It's like
Hmm.
manipulation. You can't do anything right. You feel like you're the
Right.
victim. They can also, it can be mind games as well. They can make you feel like you're going crazy.
Yeah.
That's how it was put on to me. I felt like I was going crazy. And if you're in there for, I was in there for about 5 years, that
Right.
you can start to not value your own life. I
Right. Of course. Yeah.
value. life and the things that happened. I was put in hospital when I was 6 months pregnant with my son.
Oh,
I still went back to him after it because
right.
it's like an addiction. It's an
Yes.
addictive relationship. It's very, like, very toxic. So that's the extreme. But then
Yes.
you've just got like gaslighting, manipulation, control, all that coercive behavior where they're kind of wanting to control you,
Hmm.
eh, if that makes sense.
Definitely. You almost get in a cycle where in the beginning you're the best, they think great about you, right? And then all
Yep.
of a sudden something happens and now for some reason you're not the best and you want to prove that yes, you still are. And that's
Okay.
where the addiction happens. You're like, "No, but I can love you more. I can give you more. I can prove that I am that good that you thought I was," right?
That's it.
And that's
And it's a cycle. Like they'll
yes.
like cut you off the pedestal and you just want
Yes.
to be on that pedestal and then they'll put you back on it. But like this can be also the reason that you can get involved in this relationship. It'll be a self-worth issue 100%. That's what it is. You don't
Yes.
value your own self, your own worth, so you're looking at this person to bring you up and then you're in this vicious cycle. It can
Mhm.
also be if it's chaos, you're arguing, you're fighting, you're toxic. Like it's not always one-sided. You can fight and
Right.
back and forth with the other person. And if you've been brought up in that environment, that feels like home to you. Chaos
Yes.
feels like home. Whereas if you meet a nice person that's very loving to you, very kind, God, that's boring. It
Yeah,
feels
something that doesn't match.
that's
Right?
right. This is weird.
Right?
Yeah, so that's how it can
Yes.
feel. So it's
It's a
just
familiarity, right? You're
it is
familiar with the
familiar.
feeling, but you just don't realize it's the wrong familiar,
Exact,
unhealthy, right?
exact. And how you get to, you have to basically strip it back and start becoming at peace with peace and
Yeah,
start feeling like peace is home. Whereas if you're from chaos, I was a bit from chaos, to be honest,
right.
and like you create chaos in your life if there's no chaos. Subconsciously, you do.
Mm-hmm.
You can sabotage relationships if you find as well is if you've been through this cycle, if you find a good person, a great woman, great guy,
Yeah,
you can sabotage. If you don't feel worthy inside or deserving of a healthy relationship, you will sabotage that relationship. And just
yes.
you can sabotage your path to success with jobs and things as well, subconsciously. You don't
Yeah.
know, you don't realize you're doing it, and sometimes you do things that you're like, why did I do that? But it's
Yes. Yes.
conscious sabotage.
But there are ways out of it, right? That's the good news. The good news is you
Ah,
can recognize it. And that's what this is about, right? We want to show people what to look out for and how to do better, right?
exactly, exactly. I'm living proof that you can make out, like, get out of it. So if you're in that toxic environment, that basically, like what I did, I started, like, I was a victim. I was
Mm.
basically a victim. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah,
Like, oh my God, why is this guy, like, why can't he be nice all the time? He would
right.
just be amazing, like, if he was nice all the time. And I can see the pain that he must have went
Yes,
through as a child. Like, I can't ever imagine what he's been through as a child because he was a monster at times.
right,
So
right.
that was all I wanted, and I had my son. So when you're a mother as well, that you just want your family to be together regardless of
Yeah,
how monstrous it is at
yes,
times, and it's not always like that. Otherwise,
right.
then it would be the lavishness again.
There is a technique actually that you see, right? The pattern where at first they treat you a certain way, they take it away. When you're about to say, I give up, I'm going to leave, I don't deserve this, then they put you back on it to show you why you liked it the first time, right? Then they wait a little bit and then it all begins again, right? It's this cycle. But when
It
you,
is.
yeah. And that's where the almost the addiction to it happens because you go a high, low, and that's where the addiction actually creates itself,
Yes,
almost, right?
that's it's very, very, very difficult to break out of that. I left so many times, and because
Right.
your worth is so low, and because when you're like in these relationships, it causes mental health issues, it causes
Yeah.
anxiety, depression.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not your strongest self.
Yeah.
So it's easy for them to, and sometimes you just feel like it's just easier just to go back and just not
Yes.
the drama and the
Right.
chaos. They're trying to get their phone in you, they're down at your house, you're having
Yeah.
to face, your family are involved. It's just you're tired. You're just so
Yes.
tired of it. So you would do anything to make it stop. So you go back. I went back, oh, so many times until I built the strength, the inner
Mm-hmm.
strength to just leave.
Yeah. And that's what it is, where they can leave you thinking that there's no one else out there who's going to want you, right?
Yeah, no one
They
else will
plant that
want.
they plant that seed, and that doubt makes you then say, fine, you know what? Just keep what you have, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly. Because no
but
one else
until you
want me. So,
exactly.
like, because you're a shell of yourself, they chip away at your self-esteem. So, not only have you went into the relationship with self-worth issues, probably like it won't be near as bad as when you come out of the relationship.
Hmm.
But like when you're in the relationship, they start to chip away at you. They say, "Oh, you're fat, you're this, you're that, you're like."
Yes.
Oh, you're not right in the head, you're got
Yes.
issues, like you're crazy, you're not like they'll say like he would say horrible things to me that you can either accept or you just take it on board, but we just you absorb it. Words, you
Yes.
absorb words. If you're hearing them
Yes.
all the time, you absorb that energy and that relationship, and living in a knife edge starts feeling normal.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, no, so okay, so the one thing that people have to realize is that they can do it, right?
Oh, 100% you can do
It
it.
it's going to be work,
Yep.
right? You're not
Oh,
saying you're just free and it solves itself. It's going to be work, but it's worth it, right? Definitely.
oh, 100.
Definitely worth it.
Everyone tells you to leave, but
Yes.
no
You just
one
can't.
tells you the work that you're going to have to do when you leave. But
Yeah.
to live in peace, to live in harmony, to start having relationships that value you,
Yeah.
that's priceless. Nothing's
Yes.
better than that. Sometimes I just think like I'm so grateful just to have the peace in my house, to
Yeah.
not live like on edge all the
Right.
time and not have that worry all the time that is he going to blow up the knots in the stomach, that is he going to go crazy or is he going to start bringing me down, like to
Yes.
have peace in your life is priceless. And when you value yourself and you start raising your own self-worth, everything in your life shifts. Every
Yes.
relationship in your life, those people start to appreciate you, and if they don't, they fall away. Your vibe,
Yes.
you start attracting better things into your life, better
Hmm.
circumstances, success, your work, your job, everything is put on your value and how you value yourself.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And I've seen people over time, and we all know someone who's been in these type of relationships, correct? And you see them and everybody says, you need to leave them, you need to take care of yourself. And then when they finally see them leave and they start to see them do better, everybody can tell they know that person is no longer with that other person, right?
Yeah.
Like it's visible.
Yeah.
Even if you are, let's say that person is away for the day, right? You can have a great time with your friends, your family, but then all of a sudden, if you're with that person, the whole atmosphere changes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
True. That's true.
So, yeah. So, it's just learning the signs of knowing, when is someone love bombing you? Is someone, manipulating you? What if you think you're in love, like immediately, that actually should be a flag.
Alarm bells.
Yeah.
Alarm bells.
Alarm, alarm,
Yeah.
alarm.
What I've found is the most like usually like the most toxic relationships have been when you've met the person, it's like bang! You meet them,
Yes.
it's like whoa, run,
Run
run.
away.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it was like majority of the time, I won't say that's all the time because sometimes you meet someone and it is like that, but usually if it's like bang, whoa, this is going to be a big karma lesson here. This is going to be a big, the bigger the
Yeah.
bang, the bigger the lesson. You know?
Yes. Yeah. I always say give it time. Learn
Yeah,
a person.
yeah,
If they're so familiar, you have to ask why. It's
yeah.
familiar, and that's just it. People think familiar is always a good thing, but it isn't. And
Oh,
that's the piece they have to realize. If there's familiarity, there's a reason. So there's nothing wrong with giving it time, right? If
that,
you rush, then you don't get your answer of why.
that's
True.
true.
But if you give
Exactly.
it some time and it's okay, then okay, this is why. This is,
Yeah.
the different things.
Is if they're wanting to rush it, if they're
Right.
telling you everything you want to hear and not taking time to get to know you, that's a red flag. So start
Yes.
looking for the red flags. I mean, to be honest, I was running at these red flags,
Yeah,
running
of
at them,
course.
grabbing them, waving them around. Red flags. Yay,
Right?
that's what I was like at the time. But now, after it, like I don't regret anything because I've learned all my lessons and I'm able to
Yes.
share that
Yeah.
with you all, like to help everyone as well. So just like take your time. If someone's declaring their undying love for you after just
Yes.
meeting you, it's you know,
It
it's
There's
it's
something going on.
something,
Yeah.
something wrong here and it's control. They
Mm-hmm.
want to get you into a state where they want to control you
Mm-hmm.
and manipulate you, and that's when and the repercussions of that is mental health problems, depression,
Yeah.
anxiety, and it not only affects you, it affects your children. You think
Mm-hmm.
they won't see what's going on or won't sense it, but children are very perceptive. Even if they don't
Yes.
see it, they don't hear it, they feel it in the energy. It's
Of
so
course.
to
It
just
affects everybody,
does
right?
affect
It-
everyone. It's like for years after it, I felt so guilty for my family, what I
yeah.
went through being in that relationship. But part of the healing journey is forgiving and accepting yourself,
Yes.
accepting
Yes.
responsibility for being in that relationship. Because for a while, I was the victim. I was like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Until
Yeah.
I decided, wait a minute, I've walked into this relationship with my eyes wide open. There's a lesson here, and I'm in this. I'm going to have to get myself out of it. And if it wasn't for my son, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be here today, in all
Oh,
honesty. But
right.
I valued his life. I didn't value my own.
Right.
Um, but now I do. I've worked so
Good.
hard on myself, my self-worth, to value my own life. So part of that is forgiving yourself and
Yes.
forgiving yourself for past mistakes because they make you who you are.
Yes. We're not born perfect. We're actually supposed to be flawed. People don't
Yeah.
realize that. They're looking for perfection, but nobody's perfect. And this is all part of life. And that's where the forgiveness comes in. You're not going to know everything until you go through it, right? And I'm glad that you got through it. That's important. So, that's great. I'm very happy for you for that. And so now let's see if we can help some other people also who are going through it and they just maybe need that little extra push, or they need to hear that, you know what, I'm not the only one going through this and I will get through it. Right?
Exactly. Start focusing on yourself. Start putting yourself first. Even like you've got your children, like or you've got you're looking after this one. A lot of time as people, we put everyone else first.
Yes.
It's a self-worth issue that
Yeah.
is another. But if you put your self-worth, your if you put yourself last, you're a shell of yourself and you won't be able to help others. Whereas if
Right.
you start putting yourself first, start nourishing yourself with food, sleep, like simple things, what you're absorbing, like what you're listening to, listen to motivational things, listen to things that make
Yes.
you feel good. Start raising, like focusing all that energy in you to raise yourself up, because you can't help anyone until you're there, until you're good. And once you're all good, you can help other people. But right now, if you're in there, you need to focus all your energy on yourself.
Yes.
Start believing yourself, write out a plan of how you want your life to be.
Mm-hmm.
Start focusing on the future, a vision of you as happy, as good, healthy, what you want, just for
Yeah.
you, just for you. Because a lot of the time we just focus all our energy in other ones and it leaves us depleted.
Exactly. And that's where you get tired, right? We're not talking about to go lay down and take a nap. We mean like you're physically, emotionally, spiritually depleted.
Yes,
Um, right? So you've got to get that, you got to build back that energy so you can fight for it,
you
right?
do.
You can
That's
fight for
for you.
yourself.
Fight for yourself, fight for your life. You're here for a
Yes.
reason. You've got a purpose. You need to believe in yourself and believe in that. And like start focusing on yourself, where you start rebuilding your own life just for
Hmm.
you. And
Yeah.
one of the things that really helped me was meditation. And
Hmm.
at the time, I didn't even know I was meditating, but every time that he went out for to go to football, I would lie down in the carpet because I started rebuilding my worth, rebuilding
Hmm.
myself to get strong so that I could leave. Because I
Yeah.
knew if I wasn't strong enough, I would go back.
Yes.
So I would just lie in the carpet and I wrote on a piece of paper, in the middle of a piece of, like a spider graph. You know what a spider graph is?
Yes. Okay.
Right in the middle what you want. So in the middle I wrote success and then I wrote little arrows off. So at the time I didn't have anywhere to stay. I didn't have a job, but I wrote
Hmm.
like I wanted my own job.
Right.
I wanted my a house. I wanted driving lessons, a car. I wanted another relationship, a positive relationship, another child, like holidays. Write everything on this piece of
Yeah.
paper you want, that's going to drive you forward, and it takes you away from where you are stagnant, depressed, anxious energy to moving forward. And I lay down in the living room carpet and I just held it in my heart and I just imagined all the love going into this piece of paper. And so I lost that piece of paper and I found it 3 years later.
Oh, wow.
It had everything on it.
Really?
Yeah, I got my house, I got my new relationship, I had my son, I passed my driving test. I was in my 30s. I passed my
See?
driving test and I had
Wow.
my business, everything on that piece of paper I got. It was
You
just
got it. You got it all.
got it all,
See?
everything
You
on it.
did it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy and you worked really hard for it,
It was not easy. It was
but
not
you
easy.
did it.
Did it. And a lot of that,
Yeah.
it's mindset work. It's starting to train
Yes.
your mind to stop thinking negatively and anxiously and stop. I hated him every time he came in the room. I was sending hate to him. And that
Right.
hate just comes back to yourself. It isn't doing you any good. It's
It's not
poison.
healthy. Yeah.
Healthy. So starting to train yourself to believe in yourself and start nourishing yourself, raising your own self-worth and respect, which
Yes.
will bring up your boundaries, which will
Yes.
transform your life.
Hmm. People, a lot of times they feel selfish.
Yeah,
And they don't realize it's not selfish to love yourself. It's
it's not,
necessary.
isn't
Right?
it?
It's necessary. And that's where I think a lot of the mindset gets twisted a little bit. You want something for yourself and someone's like, "Oh, well, how that's not very nice." But they don't realize, yeah, actually it is. You're taking care of yourself. It's okay. Right?
we're all brain. What I think, like I used to think this way, and it's like
Yeah.
we're all brainwashed to think that self-love and giving to yourself is selfish, but you can't give to others if you're
Correct.
completely like empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Give to your
You know,
children all the love, like
mhm,
everything that you want to give everyone if you have
yes.
nothing in here.
Yeah. And like you said, people, including your children, they feel it around you. So if you're not taking care of yourself, you're showing the message to them not to take care of yourself. But if you do take care of yourself or you put yourself first, you're now teaching others that, okay, respect yourself, right?
Yeah.
And set up those boundaries. Even having boundaries, it's not a negative thing. It's all
No.
in how you approach it,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's where people get confused. They're used to seeing the negative way, not realizing there are positive ways to do the same exact thing, right?
100%. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, definitely.
Yes. So, why do you think people end up going back so often? Do you think it is the comfort, or do you think that it's because they don't know how to do it any other way?
Probably at the time, like looking back to myself, I can only like from my experience and from my clients as well,
Hmm.
that sometimes you just can't see a road out. Sometimes you're so like depleted
Yes.
and lost that you just can't see another way out, and you feel like if chaos was your home when you were growing up, that's
Right.
home. Whereas the peace and quiet, your mind, a lot of times people avoid being on their own, and this was a
Yes.
big thing for me, that you have to start being good with on your own,
Yes.
because your mind is not a happy place to be.
Right.
But once you start training your mindset, start like working on yourself, that your mind is now a happy place to be, that you're happy on your own, you're all
Yeah.
good on your own,
Yeah.
that it's all of that, it's all of that work to,
Definitely.
it is not easy.
No.
What it really is not. No one knows. Like I was an absolute like living in a knife edge,
Hmm.
PTSD. I had like nightmares, couldn't
Hmm.
sleep, like, and no one. I didn't tell anyone that I was
Right.
going through this, because I like to feel strong and capable, and you
Right.
feel a weakness at times, which is wrong.
Right.
Reach out for help, get help, seek a therapist. I couldn't have done it without seeking help myself. And
Hmm.
like I went for Reiki healing, and I listened to hypnosis. That helped transform my mindset, helped me sleep, helped build
Good.
my confidence. That's why I love hypnosis and
Hmm.
mindset techniques. Basically everything that helped me, um, I've trained in and
Yes.
got.
So you started to teach yourself the different techniques that you had gone through, correct?
Yes, I started listening to hypnosis to help me sleep, to build confidence, and I went and got Reiki done like regularly,
Mhm.
and like all different things, read so many books on the subconscious mind and everything, and then I started training and learning. Once I was so much better, everything that helped me so that I could help other people too. So
Oh, good.
one of those techniques that I thought that I can
I
share with
can share.
you now,
Yeah.
which is a technique that helps reset the nervous system. So
Okay.
if you're feeling anxious, or even if you're feeling depressed, this is going to really help you. And it also helps raise up your self-worth and self-esteem, and helps raise your vibe.
Okay.
So if you would like to join me just now, so all I ask you to do is just like put your hands over your heart center and close your eyes, and just start focusing. So, where your attention goes, energy flows. And scientists have discovered that you have more. intelligence in your heart center than you do in your brain. Your heart actually tells your brain what to do. And when
Okay.
they're disconnected, when your heart and your mind, when your heart and your brain is disconnected, that's when you feel anxious and out of alignment, lost. But when it's in alignment, that's when you feel centered, you feel like you can start building yourself and you feel good and feel calm. So just begin by taking a big deep breath in through your nose. And when you breathe right in, breathe in, imagine breathing in through your heart center right down to your belly button, and imagine pushing out your belly so you've got all that oxygen. Now, when you're feeling anxious or stressed, you only take in half the oxygen that your body needs. And oxygen is calming. And then just release gently and really slowly out your mouth. And allow your shoulders to relax down. And then another big deep breath in, and imagine you're breathing in through your heart center. Holding for a few seconds. And then release really slowly out your mouth. And again, breathe in and release really slowly out your mouth. So you want to make your exhalations longer than your inhalations, and that helps to reset your nervous system. So just focusing on your heart center, taking those big, nourishing, deep breaths in and slowly out. And just allow your jaw, your shoulders to relax. Allow whatever you're sitting on to take the full weight of your body. And now, as you're breathing in and out of your heart center, think of someone that you appreciate. And it could be someone that you've just met or anyone. Just feel that feeling of appreciation in your heart center. And imagine that feeling has a colour. Notice what colour that is for you. As you imagine that colour growing brighter with each exhalation of breath. And now think of something that you appreciate about yourself, and it can be something as simple as your eyesight, because some people have never seen a rainbow before. As you continue breathing in and out, feel that feeling of appreciation for yourself. And imagine that colour within you growing brighter, deeper, stronger, and beginning to fill up the whole of your body in that lovely colour. And now think of something else that you appreciate about yourself, and it can be something simple as your feet, as they have carried you throughout your whole journey here on earth, and knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. As you imagine that colour, that feeling growing stronger, deeper within you until it's spilling out into the room around you. Imagine that feeling of appreciation, that colour growing brighter, deeper, bigger, until it's filling all of your loved ones, filling the room around you, filling your town, your country, and beginning to encompass the full earth in that wonderful colour and feeling, until it's filling the whole of the universe and every star in the sky. As you just take a moment to bask in that feeling of appreciation, of gratitude, of love for yourself and others. And then when you're ready, just open your eyes and take a big stretch if you want.
Stretch.
And then just test how you feel.
Feel great. No, it
Yeah,
feels good. Yeah,
good.
that's
So
wonderful.
it's good. It would be great to practice that every day because when you're in that state and you really connect to your heart, you can actually keep that feeling going for about 6 hours and it
Hmm.
affects your day and what you're absorbing in and your vibration and everything, which we all know like that's so important.
Yeah, no, and even you said, the mind and the heart have to be connected. And it's a reminder to you to make sure that they are aligned each day by
Yeah,
doing this type of
I do.
technique, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes. Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. Thank you so much for that. That's a wonderful tool for people to try.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and you have a lot more that you can teach others as well if
Yeah.
they were interested,
Yeah,
correct?
I do. So I have hypnosis audios and skills and everything to practice. I work with my clients, usually one on one. But I do have, I'm starting a membership group where you have a vault to all my audios and we meet up twice per month, which also gives it's a community. So
Nice.
that's starting soon. But if you want one-to-one help, then just reach out to me. Just at Evolve with Debbie. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. So I'm all there. So feel free to
Yes.
connect. I would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this, I'd really love to hear from you. Or if you didn't, have your comments. I'd love to know.
That's how we grow, right?
I know exactly. It is.
No, that's wonderful.
So thanks so much for listening. I really enjoy it if you've listened this far. I really appreciate you being here and you tuning in to this and
Yes.
hearing me today. So thank you.
Thank you so much for being a guest here. And if there's other things that you want to share, we can always set up another time for
Yeah,
people to listen. That would be great.
yeah, we could do
Um,
a hypnosis one day.
yeah, that'd be great. Well,
Live
that would be
hypnosis.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Wow, a live hypnosis podcast. That would
Yeah.
be different. Yes. Okay, great. So, again, how can they reach out to you if they're interested in finding out your services that you have? Where would they go?
So you would go to like any of my socials or my like any of my socials, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Evolve
Mhm.
with me.
Perfect. Again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to our future conversations.
Thank you, you too. Thanks very much.
Thanks.